Is Luka Doncic becoming a prima donna of the NBA? He had a fan removed last night in the third quarter. But when you come across this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. And if it's your first time coming across the platform and you're new to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, post your comments, share the video out. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Well, let's get right off into it. Last night, the Phoenix Suns was in town playing the Dallas Mavericks. Now, Phoenix is coming in on a 7-game win streak. The things that they're doing right now, I think the big three is finally starting to figure it out, and they're on a win streak. Kevin Durant's playing well. Bradley Beal, coming back from the back injury, has stepped in, is playing well, and Devin Booker has been on fire lately. And you know the history between Luka Doncic and Devin Booker, from the playoff battles to the regular season battles, and it's something about them two that bring out the best in each other. But last night, it was a glaring glare, and it was a telltale sign that Luka Doncic, like a lot of people have been saying, Luka has been crying lately. Luka is like becoming a prima donna of the NBA, always barking at the officials for calls and things like that. So what happened last night? In that Phoenix Suns and Dallas Maverick game, the first quarter, the Mavericks started out on fire. I know they was, without the services of Kyrie Irving, but Luka had it going, and they jumped out on a big lead. So what happened late in that second quarter? Devin Booker started cooking. Devin Booker started getting the best of Luka, and there was a fan that was in the stands that was heckling Luka Doncic. And basically what the fan had to say, he said some choice words. He told Luka, get your fat ass on the treadmill. You need to lose some weight. And apparently this fan had on a Devin Booker jersey. So through the course of the game, Luka was paying attention to the fan. And the fan was really getting the best of him. So late in that third quarter, the Phoenix Suns started pulling away, and Devin Booker started cooking. Now, what happened? Luka Doncic went to security and pointed out that fan during a timeout to have that fan removed from the basketball game. So apparently that fan must have been down by the court side for Luka to hear every choice word that he uttered at him. And Luka was going back and forth with the fan. So basically, after the game, Luka and longtime reporter Tim Macmahon from ESPN, been a journalist over 40 years, been employed by ESPN since 2009, been covering games for ESPN, got into a heated exchange during the post conference. But through the course of the game, Phoenix went on to win that game, and apparently, Luka was visibly upset. So Phoenix won that game 132-109. Devin Booker ended up with 46 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Luka had 34 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. But basically, it came down to the reporter. And Luka was visibly frustrated, and Luka voiced his displeasure. So Luka basically said, you're the first one to put bad stuff out about me. He got into a heated exchange with Tim Macmahon. So what happened was in the post-game press conference, Tim Macmahon asked him some questions. So basically, Luka Doncic got into a heated argument with ESPN's Tim Macmahon following the Dallas Mavericks loss to the Phoenix Suns. Doncic was not happy with Macmahon's reports about the fan who got ejected in the third quarter after heckling the Mavericks superstar. In the post-game press conference, Doncic expressed his frustration with McMahon's tweet about the situation. He pointed out how the ESPN reporter made it look like a fan only said one thing, but in fact, the fan was heckling him the entire first half. And then basically, I saw what you said about the fan, Doncic told McMahon. That was not true at all. That was not the only thing he said, but I knew you would be the first one to point out something like that. I'm not going to say what he said, but I know you were going to be the first one to put something out like that. I just saw it, man. It's just funny. He always seemed to be the first one to put bad stuff out about me. So basically, they had the post-game press conference, and Luka Doncic and Tim Macmahon got into a heated exchange. And listen to what the exchange was about. Take a listen.
Luka, what were you frustrated about at the end of the second quarter when you got that technical?
I know I saw you when you said about the fan, That was not a true all. That was not the only thing he said. But I knew you would be the first one to point out something like that. I'm not going to say what he said, but I knew you were going to be the first one to put out something like that. So I just saw it, man. It's just funny. You always seem to be the first one to put some bad stuff about me.
First of all, 99% of the stuff I've written about you has been good.
I don't know.
I was sitting 2 rows behind us.
All right, so it was the only thing that time he said something, the only thing?
That was what you reacted to.
Yeah, I was hearing the whole first half, right? Oh, you didn't hear anything?
He was definitely hollering.
Okay, there we go.
Acted.
But you put out something that was just the only thing, but...
What was the final straw? What was the issue? What was the thing that...
It's not the issue, I'm just saying you seems to be the first one to always put something bad about me. That's fine, it's all over.
Why did you ask for the fan to be ejected?
Because he was cursing me the whole first half too.
Why didn't you ask for him to be ejected in the first half then?
Because I never would eject a fan. They pay for tickets, but I had enough, It's a little bit of frustration.
You turned your head and looked over at him after he said that. That's what we saw.
Yeah, that's fine. Be the bad guy in the media, right? It's all right.
Like you were fairly portrayed in the media?
No.
So you heard what Luka had to say, man. And basically, he said the fan was heckling him the whole first half. But Tim did ask him, why come you didn't have the fan removed out in the first half? Because if you guys looked at the game last night, Dallas was winning that game in the first half. It wasn't late until the second quarter where Phoenix made a run and they cut it to 1 at halftime. In the third quarter, that's when Phoenix opened up a can and Devin Booker started getting the cooking, and Luka was frustrated and the fan was still heckling him. So at that point, like Luka said, Luka had enough. I think Luka was out of bounds to go to security just for a fan heckling him, to have him removed, but we see it all the time. You see the issues with Russell Westbrook when he has a fan heckling him. Russell Westbrook, he'll go straight to security, point the fan out, and they'll have him removed. But in this situation, I just, like Luka said, he was frustrated. He was frustrated that Phoenix came back, took the lead, and Devin Booker got the cooking. We know the history between Devin Booker and Luka Doncic. They go at it each time. Like I said, they bring out the best in each other. It's a competitive sport, and it seems like Devin Booker is always ready for the challenge, and Devin Booker always puts up big numbers. In this case, Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns went on a run, and they actually blew, the Mavericks out. So like Luka said, man, he was frustrated, but he said that, he was pissed off because, Tim went straight to his Twitter and pointed out the glaring obvious point, but he didn't state everything that was going on through the course of the game. Like Luka said, the heckler was saying more than just what he said about, get your fat ass on the, treadmill and things like that. He said he was cursing at him the whole game. But to Tim's point, why didn't you have that fan removed early in the first half? But Luka responded by, well, they paying, top dollar for the seat that he had. He's not going to try to get the fan removed. But you still got the fan removed in the third quarter because at that time the frustration had set in. You was losing the game. The game was spiraling out of control, and you just had enough. So you got a technical foul. Then you went to the, security and pointed out the fan and had that fan removed. So in this situation, a lot of people around the league saying, Luka's becoming a prima donna of the NBA. But, I don't think Luka was wrong in a sense because, if the fan is calling you out your name and things like that, that's one thing. But if a fan is just heckling you, man, you got to play through it. We've seen it in the NBA for years where fans be heckling each other. But this hasn't became a thing until COVID hit. Now they're real protective of, the fans' interaction with the players and things like that, and fans getting removed. We saw it in the bubble where Russell Westbrook had Rajon Rondo's family member removed from a game because he was heckling him. And that was because of the COVID, protocol. But now it seems like I said, I think Luka was just visibly frustrated. The game got out of hand, and I think Luka was, wrong in a sense, but then I don't think he was wrong in another sense. But that's for y'all to judge. So post your comments down below. Do you think Luka was out of bounds for getting this fan removed? Please share the video out. Please give the video a thumbs up. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.